is the best way, what is the best evening routine to set you up to have the most productive next day?
Yeah, I think that definitely starts with you finish your work. I think it's extremely important. So you finish your work, say 5, 6 p.m. The first check-in I would do is make sure you have some short, 60-second or so, short reflection of your day that helps you to celebrate the progress that has occurred. It's very easy to go into the end of the day, looking at your calendar and task list and thinking, I have a lot more to do, and then enter your evening in a state of dissatisfaction, which isn't good for our mind. So the first thing, quick reflection, very simple ways to do that would literally just be to look back at your task list or look back at your calendar and think, okay, cool, I've done this day, I've done a podcast, we've done some meetings or whatever it may have been. Then I think you need a period of time away from wherever you were working. So if you're in the office, you're naturally leaving the office, which is good. A lot of people obviously work from home now. You then need to leave your home.
Go outside,
go outside. That could be walking. If it's still light in the summer sort of months, go into nature, have a period of that. Could be to the gym. The most important thing is after that work period, you're then entering 60 to 90 minutes completely screen free. So you need a moment where your brain is going to destimulate, and it almost can be uncomfortable, that experience, because our brain is in that dopamine loop all day. We separate from the technology of our phone or our laptop, and suddenly we can almost feel a bit of a decline. And that's when we're like, well, actually, no, I think I'll just stay on the phone for the evening.
Or turn the TV on or something.
TV on.
A different screen.
Different screen. And I think if you can have a period, so that could be gym, it could be for a walk, it might be that you just need to go like supermarket shopping. You could at least get away from
make yourself dinner or whatever it might be, like do an activity, right?
For sure. And then we basically try and get people to, they come back from that activity, they've then got dinner, and you've got potentially like TV watching and social. That's kind of your potential evening activities typically in our world. And we'll try and continue that concept of a phone fast effectively. So there's prolonged periods of time away from the phone so that this dopamine system can regenerate, so that you can step away from all your work emails and conversation and so on. And phone fasting really requires, and this is very clear in our work, it requires physical separation from the device.
Not even just being close to you.
It can't be anywhere
flipping it over. That's not a fast.
That just does not work. It has to be in like an office on a windowsill away from you so that you're not near it, because we effectively have this experience of boredom begins to arise in our brain. Like we're cooking and we're like, this is uncomfortable, I'm bored. And the reason we feel that way is because dopamine is declining. Or it might be like we're eating dinner, we're talking to someone, and that even might be boring now because we're so in stimulation all day.
Gosh.
And we call this the boredom barrier, where basically what you see is there's a period of maybe 10 to 15 minutes where you feel uncomfortable and you're like, oh, this is kind of, and you want your phone and you want stimulation. But you do quickly surpass what we call the boredom barrier if you stay in the state of boredom, and then it becomes okay again. Unsurprisingly, humans were able to do life without phones prior to them being a thing. And we'll then guide them. They cook, they eat, and then maybe they watch TV. With the TV, I really don't think the TV is as significant as a problem as all the other aspects of technology.
It's not a quick scrolling. At least you're engaging in a storytelling or something slower, hopefully, right?
For sure. And we have these simple questions when people are going through the experiences, these interactive questions. When we ask people whether they watched TV and scrolled at the same time the night before, we have a 96% yes rate to that question.
Wow.
So the vast majority of society scrolls and watches TV. And then you explore why
TV's boring now.
TV is so boring now.
It's too slow. So it's like, let me scroll and watch. Right?
Yeah, like sitting there and just watching Netflix, or like I watched Gladiator, the movie, the other day. That's a great, yes, good movie. My girlfriend had never seen Gladiator. Gladiator's a really good
you watched
film.
the first one or the second one?
First one.
Okay.
We haven't seen the new one yet.
The first one.
But as you'll see, if you observe the difference between the new one that comes out, the new one will be dopamine carnage in comparison.
The slower storytelling of the old one, yeah.
And we're watching it and you're kind of sitting there and you actually are a bit bored while you're watching a film. And back in the day, if you went back to like the 70s, that would have been like hyper dopamine stimulation. But this is how the baselines are changing over time because of the overstimulation.
You're like, this is too slow of a movie. Where like most people, it's their top 10 movie of all time. It's like...
And we just need to become comfortable with that experience so that this chemical can restore itself effectively. And again, physical separation is important. If you're with other people, like you've got a partner or kids or anyone, it's unbelievably important that they also participate in the phone fast. And there's this really interesting area of neuroscience about anticipatory dopamine, which is basically the concept that your dopamine will rise simply at the thought of accessing dopamine, not just when you engage with it.
10, 3, and 8.
Yeah, and that, I get the big anticipation. I know, when's my hit coming? And like, if you're like, you're sitting at a restaurant with your wife and you're eating some food and then they take out their phones, check it quickly. And before you've even thought, yours is boom, straight in the hand. And effectively your brain has seen their dopamine rise, experienced anticipation, and it's driven you into action towards the same experience of dopamine.
Wow.
So it's very important. Like, if you're going to sit on the sofa and not be on it, they have to not be on it as well, because the battle's too hard to fight.
So as a neuroscientist, then, what is the greatest morning routine to get our dopamine in check?
Okay, so the most important aspect is it starts with the night before, with where you charge your phone. You can't charge your phone by your head. It's the most fundamental change society has to make with the dopamine. And if it has to be in the room for an alarm, it charges the other side of the room and you get out of bed to turn it off. Ideally, you get yourself an alarm clock. You get one for like £2 on Amazon, or you get yourself a nice one for Christmas, whatever it might be. But we need an alarm clock, and we need to wake up and not go into quick dopamine. I would say we need an absolute minimum of 15 minutes before we see a phone screen. Ideally, I would push that towards 30
in the morning.
minutes. Yeah. I don't think you can see a phone within 15 minutes. Even this morning, like, I woke up, I was pretty jet lagged. I woke up at like 4 a.m. today, and it was obviously very tempting. Oh, I wonder what's going on in the world, social media. And we got the whole presidential election stuff. I was curious to have a look at how that was going. And I was like, no, because this is the day I want to be thriving. I've got an important podcast today. If I go into my phone, I'm disrupting the capacity for that moment to happen. So the first thing is 15 minutes minimum, 30 minutes ideally. You want to wake up and you want to immediately take action. You want to start doing something that's effortful. So not only are you not spiking it and crashing it and living in that world, which is what most of us live in, but you're actually going in the opposite direction, and dopamine is on the rise. And that would involve, you wake up, you immediately walk to the bathroom, and you go to the bathroom. After you've been to the bathroom, if you're sitting there and you're going to the toilet, you've got to have a book in there to entertain you if you're going to potentially go on your phone. Then you're engaging in effortful reading, and that's much, much better. Books are way better for our dopamine because they're challenging, not easy. Then you splash cold water on your face. You brush your teeth, and you brush your teeth properly. And then you walk back to your bedroom and you make your bed. So very simply, you wake, you don't go on your phone, you go to the bathroom, you brush your teeth, you splash cold water on your face, and you make your bed. You've experienced a drastically different situation from a neurochemistry point of view. Your dopamine is climbing fast and hard. And then whatever else you want to do that morning, maybe it's that you want to get out and go for a walk. Maybe you've got to make your kids breakfast. Maybe you've got to start your working day. You're starting from a higher baseline dopamine state, which is when you're going to perform at a really high level with whatever action you're wanting to take, rather than climbing out of low dopamine and finding everything annoying and feeling irritated and feeling flat. It's drastically different.
Wow. Thank you for watching this video. If you want more inspiring clips like this, make sure to click right here to subscribe, and click right here to watch that next video that is specific to support you in your life.